10:02 a.m. And I declare the annual meeting open. I'm going to say as little as I can this year, which hopefully won't displease too many of you. I've been struggling a little bit with my throat and everything this week. So, first item, minutes of last meeting.
I move to accept last year's minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favour?
Aye.
What did I say? No, to note the number of the time. Call on Jay Sands to quick resume of the membership report.
Okay, very simply, we now have 907 members. We might have added one or two this week so far. Including 280 life members. We've lost roughly 80 since last June. Okay. And in keeping track of the deceased members, I now have a list of over 300 deceased members in the club. A lot of information I'm missing. And that's about it. Look forward to the club expanding with the new initiatives we have. That's
Someone
really
with a 702 area code.
Yeah, I should mention, I presume most of you looked at the programme, you're aware that some of the members of Doug's committee are doing a sort of a presentation and Q&A and whatever after this meeting. So, you know, that's for anybody who's got ideas, that would be an opportune time to come along and sort of present it to them rather than here. But I think you're mostly all here, aren't you? Well, in fact, that is basically the attendance in the hall. The financial reports have been online for a while, since produced. Any questions for Bud? Oh, sorry. Can I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the membership report.
Second. All in favour? Financial report's been online for some time. Any questions on financials for Bud?
Motion to accept the financial report.
Okay.
Second. All in favour?
Aye.
And we are cruising.
Yeah.
Be the second choice meeting.
That's right, you can do. Mr. Kaplan, is there a motor report?
There is a motor report. I didn't bring it with me. I'm glad to field any questions that anybody has about the museum history. I didn't know it was required to.
There's always been a motor report at the annual meeting.
Okay.
You did one last year.
I wasn't specifically informed that I needed to bring one. Sorry.
Okay.
But again, if anybody would like to ask any questions about what's happening at the museum, I'd be glad to let them to answer their questions.
Can you talk about what happened at the last meeting or not yet?
It's a little bit premature, but there are exciting things happening at the museum right now. A couple of years ago, we came to the realization that we didn't have enough financial resources and experience to pursue a physical location. Many obstacles in our way, and we decided to instead focus on a virtual museum, and we've been working on some prototypes with that. Recently, we have a new board member who's got considerable experience with museums and with casinos, and has excellent relationships with people that matter for making something like this happen in Las Vegas, including the mayor. And that's why the mayor was at the banquet on Wednesday night. We received an informal support from the mayor that she's very interested in seeing a casino museum in Las Vegas. So we now have the mayor on our side. We've got some interesting ideas on how to move forward. And we are actively pursuing that right now. So we're kind of shifting back towards establishing a physical museum. One of the obstacles was we don't know how to, we don't have enough financial resource to open up the kind of museum that we want. And that was kind of a faulty thought. We have to start with what we can afford. And we've been informed all of the museums have started small, and if they were successful, they grew. The Neon Museum started out as a junkyard, and people liked it, and I think they moved 4 times already, and they're getting ready to move again. So there's a lot of empty real estate in Las Vegas, and a lot of deals that could be made that would be beneficial to us and to the owners of the real estate to get something going there. And I think it's possible to get a deal done. So that's kind of where we are right now.
But it is all tentative.
These are the conversations that have come up in the last week. So, but very encouraging. And if you ask me, we are now looking at the best opportunity that we ever had to start a physical museum. So we're going to go for it.
Cool. Question on the vote? The chip board,
Chip guide.
chip guy. You've always updated and used those dates and removed any other dates, and then we all spoke up and said, we need a issue date.
Yeah.
Are you growing that still, or you completed what you have as dates of the chips that were issued?
So we use the information that's available. You have to remember the administrators are not in general experts. We do have Ed Hurdle, who's the expert on illegals. But the rest of us, we're just members who volunteered and have been trained on how to put stuff in the chip guide. So we use the information that's available. We need the information coming from the submitters to help us, because otherwise we don't know. Whatever information we get, we enter in. We did add, when you look at an item on the chip guide, this was the date it was issued, if we know it. This was the date it was added to the chip guide, and this was the last time it was updated on the chip guide. So we give all that date information when we have it available.
On the chip rack has a issue date.
Yeah,
Have
we
you
use it.
completed using that resource and put it all into?
The only 2 resources we have are the chip rack for Nevada, manufacturer's records when they're available, and then what people tell us. Okay, I went into the casino last week and this was on the table.
And also, if I may, the chip guide admin, if they so choose to do additional research, especially when the provided information conflicts with what we already have. And so then they can consult with Compiglia's guide, they can consult with Archie Black's guide, the Caribbean guide, the other publications that are out there. But not all the admins have all the publications, but they do the best they can.
Right.
Charles, it also might be a good time to, you announced the changes to chip guide in your seminar, which ought to be put out now.
Right, this probably should have talked about that during the membership portion of this conversation.
Well, that's actually what I was expecting you were going to say when I asked if you
So, the Growth and Membership Committee did extensive work talking to collectors inside the club and outside of the club. And one of the things they found out was people outside of the club are just simply amazed that we give away the chip guide. So, decision has been made to make the full chip guide facilities available only to club members. And what that means is we've divided all the different functions into basic and advanced. So if you're a CCA member, you get everything. If you're not a CCA member and you come to the chip guide, you're going to get only the very basic functions. What is the basic functions? It means you'll see the map, you can click on a state, you can click on a casino and see what's in the casino. But you don't get the search functions, you don't get my collection, trade maker. So roughly half of the stuff in there has been designated advanced. And it's the real useful stuff that people come to the chip guide for. So that was announced yesterday at the chip guide seminar to go into effect on August 1st. Why August 1st? We don't want anybody to lose anything. We want everybody to have ample time, if you're not a member, to sign up and be a member. And, you know, at the chip guide seminar, there were a lot of pointed questions about how is this going to work. Rest assured, we've thought of a lot of different things that can happen. We want to allow people to share IDs with others who are non-members to give them full function. We have a way of detecting if more than one person is using the same ID. And, you know, we verified things like people won't be able to take over your ID because we'll capture your email address, and any changes have to go through an email process where we only send it to the original email that we captured for you.
Also, when outsiders or non-CCA members go to chip guide, they will still see the old entries that were features. In other words, search. They'll still see that, but they can't click on it.
It'll be in red.
And the idea is to suggest to them, hey, become a member of the CCA, get this access. And the link
Plus,
with
they will be
membership.
getting ads about every so often about joining the CCA. If you're not a member, every few clicks, you'll get an ad that says, you should join the CCA.
That's good.
Have we posted onto the chip guide the fact that...
Jerry, is that your phone?
The fact that these activities
You
are
can't even hear it.
going to be happening?
We're a little slow on that, but we already prepared the content, and we're going to put that word out on the chip board, the CCA membership board, and the other boards that collectors access.
And do we have a way for the non-members who are using the chip guide today to send out a message to them currently to advise them to have access and join our club?
We don't know who they are.
Well, so we're not interfacing this with the membership committee emails? The member CCA member emails, interface that with the emails that are currently being used. The ones that don't match up are not members, and therefore we...
So what's going to happen on August 1st, there will be messages before that. Everybody who uses chip guide will know what's happening. On August 1st, everybody's password is going to expire, and you're going to have to get a new password. There are a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons is we're not going to encrypt passwords. So to get your password encrypted, you're going to have to go through a password reset. Okay, so everybody's going to know what's going on well in advance.
Okay.
Charles, just to be clear, you said half the chip guide is going to be closed off, but it's half the functions. All
Half the
250,000 things in there is still open to everybody.
Everybody will be able to see everything. You just won't be able to use the chip guide query facility, casino search, chip search, or any of the things that are currently member only, like Trade Maker and My Collection and so forth.
And new features that'll be developed in the future.
Correct. Correct. Yes?
This is perhaps a premature question, but if we get to the point with a brick and mortar museum and we're signing a lease with someone, is the MOC a separate entity that would become the lessee, or is it CCA?
The MOC is
the
not a
MOC is really-
501c3, it can only be done in the name of the CCA.
Right.
Right.
CCA.
The CCA has to make the decision if we even want to go that route.
Right.
Right.
My question was just in terms of liability, that anytime you take a venture, it's nothing venture, nothing gained, but there are risks involved that the CCA would be on the hook for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be the
Right.
CCA.
All right.
But view of the MOG is really just a committee of the CCA.
All right.
And we're a special committee because we have a budget.
Charlie, another question. In a situation of submitting something in, and you're all familiar with Howard's old sheet that Harvey's name's on top, the sheet that you open up, and it tells you how to describe a chip, but you guys use kind of a more simpler way of describing the chip. When I submit my chips, I use Howard's description and everything, and sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. It appears now that you're not really using it. The administrator uses the more simpler way of communicating what the chip looks like.
If you're talking about the mold guide, the molds in particular,
Mold names and spot patterns. Originally, they were the manufacturer's designations, as Howdy had. They all seem to have changed now. You're calling them whatever you like. So
Yeah.
they don't even tie up with the records.
I think that handout was like 2 or 3 years into the clubs.
Someone tried to understand it.
So
Yeah.
it's been a long time ago that little
I've got
handout.
Howie's original book, and I know he had a description of all the molds and names in it.
And how to do the inserts and how to do, 1/8, 1/4, 1/2. How to describe that literally in just, 5 or 7
So,
descriptions.
but I don't want to take up everybody's time here because we're really not here to talk about.
Yeah, this isn't really part of this meeting.
Yeah.
So, I'll be at the MOG table.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
will.
Let's talk
Okay.
about that. I mean, we're all here working for the same thing, to provide as good information as we can. And like I said, Howie may have not been the expert more than we are, so maybe he got it right and we're
Yeah,
not.
but Howdy got it from the manufacturers. If the manufacturers determine the name, then that's it. Yeah, they used that for 80, 90 years. Why would we suddenly call it something else?
We shouldn't.
Right.
The only thing I could think of is the manufacturer's names might be this big, and it's not convenient to have a name.
Well, Howdy had a mnemonic code, didn't he? Which was
Yes.
cut down to like five
And
or six characters. Of course,
If you understood the code, you could literally
Yeah.
tell you what the code.
don't forget though, Bob, you got 10 times as many molds and 100 times as many spot patterns now as you had back then.
Exactly.
So it's
Sure.
not quite
And,
as simple.
yeah,
and to put things into perspective, there was a committee formed to standardize mold descriptions.
Yeah, it was the last thing that
And
the standards.
they lingered for years and years and years, and one of our administrators, on his own, put together his own mold guide. And once we did that, the committee said, we don't need to do anything anymore, and that committee dissolved. So it was the chip guy's initiative to get us where we are today, to have some kind of standard for that. Okay,
Okay,
any other questions?
Yep,
Bob?
so quick question. So in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of direction and effort to create a virtual museum. When
Yeah.
the conclusion of a physical museum was that we would not do that.
Right.
Any thoughts around, will that effort continue with the same resources in parallel with the new
Yeah,
physical? Or
every place that has a brick and mortar has a virtual presence as well. So I don't see them as one or the other.
are they, do you have a sense of, are they going to be, would the virtual museum be paused until the brick and mortar is settled, or would they be done in parallel?
Parallel. Because the brick and mortar is not a done deal.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to move on. I don't have anyone here to give an official convention chair's report. So I mean, if anyone's got any questions or anything to say, just fire them at me. So,
About what?
about the convention.
Do we know who's
We're
going to be convention
expanding the
chairs?
free,
Do we know who's going to be convention chair next year?
No, not yet.
we're expanding the free application of entry. Were everybody thinking that?
Well, you
Thursday
want
was
to, do you
gonna
want
be
to
free?
cough up? Do you want to cough up $7,000 a year to subsidise that? Because that's the problem. You know, that's 20% of our revenue.
Is what?
Is
Admission.
the admission fees for the show?
Right.
Were you asking if they're
But
going
we're-
to expand it, or are you suggesting they expand it?
No, I'm just throwing it out for conversation. We were just one day, the last day, being free. Now we're 2 days.
Well,
And
no, it's a
there was
day and
some
a half by-
conversation in this situation of even having Thursday being free, so.
Well, you can't. I have to say the day and a half, the half day was an absolute disaster. Because there's people coming out for the morning screaming, demanding the money back. Yeah, because they paid, they didn't
Yeah.
know, and they paid at 5 to 12.
Yeah.
I don't think you can split a day. It's too awkward.
Okay.
And then you've also got people saying, well, why am I paying 20 for pre-registration? That's way too much considering it's now free on Friday afternoon and free on Saturday. I'd only have to pay, I should be paying 10 or 15.
How about free admission for the last hour or two? Because usually things have quieted down quite a bit by that time.
Possible. I mean, there's a number of things that I'm going to review with Barry over the next couple of months, let it settle, but a number of things that I've been making notes of as we've gone along, which basically, we do it because we've always done it. Just like other things we've done in the past, right? You know, so therefore we'll look at those and think, why are we actually doing this, well, et cetera, and things may well change.
Because the people, let's just call it Saturday, the
Yeah.
people that come in with the little tags, just looky-loos, literally. They don't buy anything almost at all.
Well, no,
Yes,
because
they're
most of them-
getting educated, and that's what I have taken on, you know, telling them to buy the catalogs and the sheets to protect their chips, blah, 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 blah. But they don't buy anything.
No,
We're just
because-
lucky that some of the guys come back at around 3 o'clock because we extended it to 4 o'clock and start buying whatever's left. That's the
Yeah.
part that we get.
Yeah, okay, noted, yeah. Noted.
But a 2 hour at the end of the show day, that might be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, if we're done on convention, I'm going to call on Doug Smith to read out the election report for this year.
Okay. 21 valid nominations were received. 11 members received a minimum of 2 nominations for from current CCA members per the requirements. 10 of those members were Jerry Vergados, Doug Smith, Dan Madriano, Dick Bartley, Barry Sherwood, Ed Hertel, John Zesch, Doug Balduni, Bill Lang, Sam Wagmeister, who all received 1 nomination per position. However, 2 are required, a minimum of 2 are required to run for that position. Those accepting the positions or declining are as follows. President,
Barry Sherwood, accept. Sarah Belinda, decline. David Sprague, decline. Ed Hertel, decline. Secretary, James Hogg, accept. David Sprague, decline. Bob, I really need to learn how to pronounce your last name.
Mixed-all.
Mixtall, decline. And John Benedict, decline. Member at large, number 1, Eric Friedner, accepted. Bob Mixtall, decline. Dick Bartley, decline. Joe Belinda, decline. And Oscar L, decline. Now they're going to try that one. Since all 3 positions were uncontested this year, there was no requirement to hold elections. And based on these results, Barry Sherwood has been elected president, James Hogg has been elected secretary, and J. Eric Friedner has been elected member at large number 1 of the CCA for the following 2-year terms. We confirm that the numbers stated above are correct and request that the CCA secretary certify the election of Barry Sherwood, James Hogg, and J. Eric Friedner.
So I hereby direct the secretary to cast 1 vote on behalf of those results.
That'd be you.
Outgoing, oh yeah, given the original. Outgoing member at large, Dick Bartley, is not here today.
I believe he went back.
He may have already gone home, yeah. So just say, note that, thank him for what he did. And if Mr. Friedner wishes to join the rest of us at the top table, he can do so. Or you can stay where you are. And so for my last act, in about 1 minute's time, I'm going to go and I'm going to sit on that side of the table for the first time since 2010.
The winning side of the table.
What's that? Yeah, well, that's right. The alcoholic side of the table.
Delete that.
So at that point, I congratulate Barry on his appointment as president and hand over to him. You go straight to other business.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they may or may not be.
There. Yes.
Look here for the photo I'm taking.
Oh, you want me there as well?
I do. Sure.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the complaints.
Yeah, I've got 3 pages of complaints.
I've got 3 pages of what I intend to do, if anybody wants to hear it. Is this a good time for me to do that? All right.
You're the president.
Well, you want to open up whether anyone's got any business first? It's up to you, I guess.
Let me give my little thing first, because it might change people's minds on what to say and not say. So, bring it up here.
He's gonna make me write it,
What?
I'm gonna have to write a lot in a minute.
No, because he can just text it to
I'm
me.
going to text it, yeah, that's gonna work. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Barry Sherwood.
Who?
Yeah, I know, Barry Sherwood. My initials are BS, I was going to say that later, but I'll get that out of the way. I'm honored to have received 100% of the votes. Thank you all very much for your vote of confidence. A little background for those of you who don't know. I live in Reno, Nevada with my wife, Gail. Show it over here. Gail and I own Great Basin Internet Services. We do internet connectivity, hosting, that kind of stuff. But I'm also a part-time poker dealer at the GSR, Grand Sierra Resort, up in Reno. Part-time banquet server and fledgling bartender, I guess, is another thing I'm working on. But that's all money I'm trying to earn to hide my addiction to chip collecting with my wife. I mountain bike, golf, drive around in my midlife crisis, red-lifted Jeep Gladiator pickup truck, share questionable memes. Most of you might know those already. And I post too damn much on Facebook. We have 2 boys, they're both married, living in Reno. We have 1 grandson. In fact, he was born while I was at the Fun Show this last January, with manning a CCA table at that show. Let's see. Next month, I'll be riding my mountain bike across the state of Oregon, 700 miles. So if a mountain lion or a bear doesn't get me, you might still have a president when I get back. I collect Nevada 5s. I only collect Nevada 5s. Anybody who tells you I collect silver strikes, slot machines, or other things is a liar.
Oh.
Let's see.
You have some.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, when we walked in day one, Gail said, looks like your office exploded. Yeah, she doesn't collect anything. But yeah, I do have two mechanical slot machines with the card dictalong things, which are my pride and joy in my office and take up too much room. Let's see. Let's get down to the other stuff. I've been volunteering on the Growth and Engagement Committee, headed by Doug Smith. There's 12 of us on that committee, trying to get a lot of things done, and I think we've done pretty good so far. We'll continue. Oh, thank you.
There's your walk-up song.
That's right. I told him I walk in, I need that one of those flight songs. I'm a little slow. That's not the first time people have said that about you. Let's see. I'm a member of the Silver Strikers Club as well. In fact, I'll be there at their June tournament this next or 2 weeks from now. Generally see me volunteering to help out, tear down, set up, just be a general gopher, and I hope to see a lot more people become active volunteers in the club. So even though I'm only one vote on the board, here is a list of my personal goals. I hope I don't make too many people pissed off. I want to optimize and clarify the organizational structure of the club. That's creating an org chart, duties, chairs, co-chairs for the chairs, so we have backup on people, so we don't end up with situations like when Steve and Tina couldn't be at registration, and it was a little bit of pandemonium there. I want to implement a billing and ticketing system so we can handle membership renewals, sell merchandise, people can make electronic payments a number of different ways, and make the membership job a lot easier. Charles can actually use that database to pull registration information, so he can know immediately if somebody's a member or if they haven't renewed. Tracking reporting will be a lot nicer as well. I want to provide avenues of engagement for members to more directly help them implement improvements to the club. In other words, find more volunteers and incentivize them to help out. Incentives for referrals to get more people to join. Referrals for existing members to bring in new members. I'd like to take a comprehensive inventory of all the CCA and both assets and donations. I'm starting this project on the 22nd. Some of you may have seen my post asking for assistance with that. I'll be returning from a trip to Mexico on the 22nd, Sunday. So if you want to come over to the lockers there and help me inventory everything, I'd appreciate it. I'll be doing that the whole week. Let's see, what else is down here that they care about? We need to figure out what to do with the club library. It's taking up a lot of space. We have volunteers who's willing to digitize everything, and then we can figure out what to do with it after that. I would like to make all regular board meetings open to the membership via Zoom. Or more.
You realise, by the way, the library is for the benefit of the members so they can borrow books.
Yes, but nobody's doing it.
How do you know who's doing it?
I don't believe anybody's borrowed anything from the library. That's what I've been told in a couple of years.
3 books in 5 years or something. Right.
Oh, there you go. The point is,
if you digitise it, then, and somebody does want to see something, you've got to figure out how to.
yeah, so that's actually a proven concept. Libraries right now are doing that, where they have, let's say, 3 copies of a book. They can lend out electronically those 3 copies.
Yeah, they got to pay a fee because of the copyright issue.
Whatever. I'm just saying.
It may not be feasible for
May not.
500 different books when, as you say, you use 1 a year or whatever.
Right. So like I said, we just need to figure it out, because right now,
Yeah.
I don't know what the volume of storage space is for that, but it's a lot. And it's a pain. Somebody says, I want to borrow a book. Well, somebody has to go down to the storage unit, get it, ship it out to them, ship it back.
Yeah.
There's cost to that too. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd like to make all the meetings available by Zoom. There will be executive sessions where the board can't allow the public to see that, that's standard, normal. We'll take care of that. When I have meeting minutes distributed within 48 hours on the club website, so people can see that.
What are you gonna put in the minutes that you publish then? Because if you're gonna publish the minutes anyway, then what's the point of having executive portions of the meeting? I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, no, the executive part would be published.
Right.
Yeah, so if there's like, an example is I was on the board of the Big Brothers Big Sisters in Northern California. And we had an executive director and a staff. Sometimes we have HR-related things. Those can't be public. So you go into an
Well, it's the same,
executive
I mean,
session.
we've always said because you have issues like claims and things like that.
Right, so claims would be a good example in this club. Those aren't publicly, shouldn't be publicly displayed. So that's what you have an executive session for. So
Yeah.
you just lock everybody out and do that. We're kind of already working on setting up a cloud-based repository to store all club assets, files, spreadsheets, things like that. Right now, a lot of stuff exists on individual computers, not necessarily backed up into the cloud. I believe there was an issue with membership years ago where somebody just arbitrarily decided to delete old information. Wasn't Jay?
No, well, it's just somebody who didn't have a full grasp of the software.
Exactly.
Well, you know.
But a lot of historical data got deleted and can't be retrieved. So if we have it in an area where there's backups, versions, history, that ceases to be an issue, you know. So, there'd be different areas for restricted access by board members, public access for members, and public access for non-members maybe, if that's relevant. We need to figure out a way to deal with the club magazine, implement an acceptable long-term mechanism for distributing it in a cost-effective manner. I know this is probably one of the most contentious things I intend to delve into. One of the thoughts maybe is to electronically distribute to everybody, and those who want the hard copy magazine, we can push a copy of the magazine up to one of the one-off publishing sites, where you, just like with these shirts that Bob designed, by the way, you could have, or you can go up, load a design, and just buy one shirt. You don't have to buy 100 or 500. So I believe there are publishers out there that...
There are, but I mean, for the magazine, the site was 80 odd pages, you're probably talking $55 a copy.
If somebody wants a hard copy and that's the cost, I'm just saying that's one way to deal with it. It's not the way we're going to deal with it. It's just suggestions.
My book is 515 pages and they can print one at a time.
How much is the cost for that?
You go online to Amazon, you order one, they print it $30.
Hard copy?
Hard copy.
Yeah. So with ours, is ours called a perfect binding? Is that what they call the magazine?
Yeah.
So I've got to believe that's cheaper than hard copy, or I mean hard cover. But we'll look into it, that's all I'm saying. And that may not be the solution, it's just one of several, right?
Could well be.
Because I know that there are members here who absolutely will quit if they do not get a hard copy magazine. Now, if it's one person, the club has to decide if it's worth keeping that one person. That person's going to have a lot of knowledge that they're no longer going to share with the club, so we don't want to mess
Just
that
to
up.
speak as a relative newbie, it's the only physical thing I get from this group.
Right.
And it just keeps me engaged. It
Right.
reminds me, oh yeah, the convention's coming up. Oh yeah, I better renew my membership. So I'm old school. There is something to be said about getting it in the mail, and it's just, you're in my face 4
Right.
times a year.
Right. If you got it electronically, would that be a deal breaker?
I mean, I still love the concept, and I'll be coming, but
Yeah.
I think people get 100 emails a day. It's just not the same.
Right.
Just
Then you
delete.
well, if you order it, as Brad was explaining,
Yeah.
then it writes in the mail, doesn't it?
Yeah, you would still get a hard copy. In fact, it should
So I
look
guess you can
exactly
print it
like-
yourself and then mail it to us.
It's a
Put it
special
in
publisher
like mail
that's set
yourself
up to
a
do
copy.
that.
Rick?
When we conducted the member survey, they gave us the feedback already. 25% of the members, roughly in round numbers, prefer a print copy only. Roughly 25% of our members prefer a digital copy only. And the remaining 50% prefer both print and digital.
For
our
both,
members have
or
already
they don't
spoken.
care?
That's 75% want the hard copy.
Right. So,
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's 25% want the hard copy, 75% want.
He just said that the other 50% went both.
I don't.
So they want.
No, he said, he did say both.
Both.
Both, he did
So
say.
they've only ever had one. That's pretty, why are you asking them that question?
Because we want their feedback.
You make it more complicated by asking that.
My point is, everybody, it's a hot
It's a hot topic.
So, I don't have to worry about
I knew this was gonna bring this up, so,
Well,
you
it's
know,
also, I mean, it's an economic thing. I mean,
Yes.
the club cannot sustain the magazine. It's not as if we're doing this just because we want to.
Right.
It's because it's a necessity.
my understanding is, and Bud, you might be able to better answer this, is it 8,000 an issue, is what it
Well, it's
costs?
not quite up to 8,000, but it's pushing getting close to 7,000.
Yeah, it is with the.
And it's going up.
Yeah.
And it's going up, and postage is going up. And by the way, we can't send this out as media mail, it goes out as first class,
Because it's
because we have
got-
advertising,
That's right.
so.
I was inquiring, and a couple of people asked me, and I had no idea, in the sense that that magazine looks, you know, top-notch professional.
Right.
To the other side, using newsprint, was that ever thought of? And what is the price differential, or does it really not make that difference?
Actually, Alan Anderson in our committee went and looked at some different options, doing it just black and white, maybe even a newsprint thing, and surprisingly, it wasn't that big of a change.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a decrease, but it was still extremely expensive.
If you're printing full colour on glossy paper, right, or if you're printing on glossy paper, right, you do not use black ink for black and white, you use all three inks together. So that's why the cost is still the same.
The setup is the big thing.
You've got to go down, you go down to flat basic paper for the inside if you want to have black or grayscale and save money.
If I can throw in an example, if people don't know, there's a dealer, Tom Plow, who produces
Coast to Coast, yeah.
Casino, it used to be Coast to Coast,
Whatever it
Casino
is.
News Magazine. And I've subscribed for 20 years.
Thank you.
Go Bills.
For a long time, he produced the Four Color magazine. It's an amazing, if you haven't heard of it, go talk to him, subscribe today. It's an amazing magazine. But over time, he switched, especially during COVID, he went to electronic publishing for the color issues and was publishing black and white, mailing them. He did that for a couple of years, and he recently announced that he's going to go all electronic publishing because the economics just don't work out for him. He's a different situation than the club, but I just want to throw that as an example of somebody who's had to kind of go down that evolutionary path that we're probably going to go down.
We're gonna look at lots of different options, I just threw out the one, George.
Mary, could we publish the magazine, hard copy, mail it out by media mail, and send advertising by email?
I don't know. Well, probably not, because you want the magazine to be the same exact format, whether it's electronic or physically produced.
Leave empty spaces, say, check your email.
It's extra work.
We also
Yeah.
want the advertiser money. And I don't think we can charge them the same for the hard copy versus electronic.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Something that puts a lot more work on Steve and the people to
Okay.
things for one.
Yeah, but if you've got your advertising electronic, you can have it on a different part of the site, and it's visible all the time, and it's visible to non-members as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then that justifies
You get more
charging the
eyeballs.
same rate. I mean, I had this discussion with Nate the other day, and we went through, and we think that wouldn't make any difference. You could still justify, and you'd still get the same amount. So that's not a loss.
But it is a thing to discuss.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm dictating or decreeing anything, maybe this is just, oh yeah.
Moving off the magazine topic, should the MOAG get a physical location, it could solve a number of other issues that the club is facing. We might be able to get a location that costs us less per month than what we're paying for our free storage lockers.
Yeah, actually Paula, who's the woman that we were talking about, joining the MOAG board, she was saying that there are realtors who know where all this empty real estate is. It's sitting fallow for years and years and years. If it's suitable for what we would want to use for brick and mortar, she's insinuating that they might be willing to accept what we pay for storage, 500, 600, whatever it is a month, but they're going to, on their side, they're not going to dictate this right off the value of that rental off their taxes, so they get a better tax break. We get to have a bigger facility with our own storage without having to pay for lockers. So we might be able to just slide that expense over, but again,
What happens when they want it back? Because that time will come.
Well, but initially, I think that what we're looking at is not a big building for a
Yeah.
museum that's gonna be empty for the years it takes us to put together. Initially, we're looking at a location to at least put our storage stuff in.
Yeah.
Okay, and get out of the lockers that we're in that aren't that well conditioned, that don't allow anybody to go in and do work on a computer with air conditioning and lighting and access to a restroom. So it would be a small.
Yeah.
And
and a presidential residence when he's in town.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's the restroom I'm talking about.
That's 2 points for this guy here.
The reason I brought that up is that it would solve the library problem.
Yes.
Because it would be someplace where the library would be accessible, there'd be people there all the time,
Right.
and there'd be plenty of.
Who are the people going to be that are there all the
No,
time?
that's later, that's still later.
Yeah, this is way down the road. I'll try
Oh, I
to
say
synopsize
because we have been in this position twice before.
So Charles had directed Paula to put together
You know,
a
since I've
one-page
been on the board,
proposal.
this is the third time we've had a premises being given to us, so to speak, didn't happen.
Yeah, but
So,
When you see the list of people that she and her husband, by affiliation, know in this town, the casino owners and other people, we're looking at 50,000, 100,000 a year donations from these individuals per
Well,
house.
yeah, but I mean, we were talking on the first one, we were talking about 2 million. a
Well,
year.
let's not shoot it
From
down
Claudette
until we get the
Williams,
proposal
and,
from her. So Charles directed her to do a
One of
one-page
those,
proposal.
so-
I asked her to do a 3 to 5 year pro forma. Let's look at the income and the expenses. I don't want to look at anything that just says, oh, I think I can do this. Let's lay it out.
Yeah.
And then she's going to go after grants. She's going to go after these big high roller donors. And if she can get letters of intent from these people for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, give you this much per year, I think that's a good signal to move ahead. If we don't
Oh,
do
yeah,
that-
yeah, and I mean, the fact that you got somebody on the board, rather than having to go and spend 10 or 15,000 just to ask somebody what we're supposed to do next.
So if
You
we
know?
don't get that,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna support anybody
Yeah.
that doesn't have that. So I think that's.
so that solves a few things, and gives you
Yes.
climate control.
Right. The point that I'm trying to make is, we're looking at making a change, and the change may have repercussions in other projects that are being worked on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So in summary, I'm gonna try to do this with as much care and thought to people's feelings and sentiments about things. I appreciate the support, and let's move forward if we can. That's my speech. So, other business.
Oh!
That's first.
The president recognizes the gentleman to his right, Mr. Jay Sands.
Thank you. I'm tendering my resignation as club membership officer. I'd like to say it's been a pleasure serving on the board of directors on and off for the past 18 years. It's really been my pleasure. Enjoyed supporting the club. And hopefully, the position gets turned over to someone who can really do something big with the membership position, which I'm not an expert in all things computer. So hopefully that can be done. So,
Well, thank you, Jay, for your years of service, not just in that capacity.
Well, you've been vice president, and you were secretary temporarily.
yeah, I was vice president for 4 terms, secretary, and membership officer.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. Hand it over to someone.
Very good.
Okay.
May I? Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to express a couple things here. Just want to express my appreciation to David for your years of service as a board member and also at the club. And we, kind of have a parting gift. It's a sign in the back of the hall that's still being,
Yeah, I walked past it quite a number of times. Choice because you appropriately put it outside the men's toilet.
And I did,
Yeah, you might have got more if you put it
I
there.
did that purposely.
Doesn't it feel like
For more
that you're
people
walking
to
in the
sign.
post office?
What's that?
Does it feel like you're walking in the post office and seeing your picture up the wall?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just, from the board, thank you.
Jay's hand went up and then yours hand went up. Would have been really funny if you guys all resigned just one at a time.
Wait for it. That's why all their hands went up.
That's not an option, is it?
All right, I'm gonna be very, very hurt.
Now, wearing my vice chairman hat and mode, okay? And Charles, I believe, agrees because we've talked about it. The announcement of the chip guide lockdown or modification, that needs to come from the board.
Right.
And the postings that we do. And Bob is working on the newsletter from a copy, but the board needs to endorse that this policy, this change is coming
They
from
need to own
the
it,
CCA.
not endorse it.
Right,
This is a CCA change
yeah.
that the chip guy is supporting.
Otherwise, the daggers will come out against Charles.
Right, and you've already submitted kind of a general write-up release,
I
correct?
did.
Yes. I believe I have it.
Provided the content
Yes.
for an
So
announcement.
we will review it and we will issue the official announcement through the appropriate channels.
Good.
Right, PR and social media.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Two things.
Yes.
The general public or membership, they all have a different idea of, what's coming down the road in years in the contract with South Point. Can you clarify what the contract says and what we have coming down the road?
Can I defer to you, David, on that?
Yeah, the contract for next year is exactly the same as this year.
So we just have a 1 year,
We have 1 year remaining.
I mean, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
So it would not become open, like to tender, so to speak. South Point wouldn't start negotiating until about the end of August, middle to the end of August, and they would. The format of it normally happens. They'll take the previous contract. They may make a few odd amendments or whatever, and they'll send it, and it'll say this offer is open until 1st of October or something like that.
There goes the
If you
money.
like it, that's fine. Sometimes it's the same. We'll say, okay, yeah, that will do. On the other hand, it might not include certain things anymore, or they might want a lot more money for something else.
yeah.
And
But we have
as-
one year still left in the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
will be here
usually,
next
how
year.
many years do we sign for the new contract? How many years do we usually sign for the next contract? Two?
So just because of the amount of work involved.
Okay.
And I mean, you're doing it, you're going to be doing it 21 months ahead of time, roughly. Yeah, and that is quite standard for any convention in Vegas, because if you leave it past that, it's gone, could have gone.
So the idea
it's
of
normal
what's
time.
floating around in the membership, that we have a 3-year contract in general, you could say that, but really it's 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, they may offer you a 3-year contract, but 2 years seems to be the standard now.
But what I'm
That's
saying
they're
is-
offering.
The 1 year that we're in now, and then 2 more, people are saying, well, we have a 3-year contract.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, you
anyway-
could argue that come
We're
October.
we're committed for 2026.
And that's it.
And that's it right now.
I mean, one of the reasons they won't do it is because they won't, in the contract, sorry, I'm just going to throw this away as I'm fed up. Running around with it. In the contract, one of the things that's specified is the room rates that they'll give us for the club block, the size of the block, and the discount on the resort fee. And they don't want to commit themselves another, what will be 3.5 years ahead. just supposing there's some event and, you know, hotel rates double generally. They don't want to be tied down that they've offered us 400 or 500 nights each year at, you know, $75 when it costs more than that to provide the room. So that's why they will only go out 2 years.
How much does
Second
the actual
question,
room cost?
and
The
it's
room
more
cost.
of a statement from people from last night, like Steve and all you poker players. Last night, my understanding, that was not a Happy Campers poker tournament.
You got that right.
So. is
Why?
that-
What happened?
It's a bad structure.
Really bad structure.
It was intended to not have a late night ending. And it turned out that so many people were eliminated within the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. It was
It
unreal.
went from 6 tables to like 2 tables before the hour was even out.
It started off with
2,500 chips. Yeah.
chips.
And the
You started
chips,
off, you started off with
everybody
12
was
at once.
complaining. that
How
they
many,
were
how
gonna
many,
stack.
how many entrants were there?
40.
Well, there's 5 tables, so.
It's an
It's
easy
only
fix.
50.
Yeah, there were eight people at each table. But it just was.
That's down to
Guys,
that-
Leslie and David know that that was a mistake, and it was kind of.
Did he presumably agreed that?
Yes, they did.
Well, if
Yeah.
he'd agreed
And
that, then he should have been cutting their fee in half, because their fee is based on the time. They're taking 45% or whatever, the money?
Well, usually they'll
For
take-
running it? No,
It wasn't a self.
no, there's 5%,
It wasn't.
5% is tips for the dealers. So the tips for the dealers are within your buy-in, so you don't tip, if you win, you don't have to tip them, because they've already got 5% of the prize pool.
Right, if it was a $100 entry, 70 went to the prize pot.
The self point
30
did
went to
not,
South Point.
it's not, it wasn't their call. It was our.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
set it
but I'm
up wrong. It has
saying,
nothing to do
if
with
you-
self point.
it's based on a 4-hour tournament or whatever that percentage.
Our
So
our
you can
people,
run some
our
of those
people
things
asked
in
to
and
show
out,
you
you
on
pay
the
it.
event.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Jake, the floor guy, suggested how they could do that. It was just overly aggressive.
Yeah, I agree, I haven't heard that, I knew nothing about that. I'll add that to the notes.
Yeah, it happened. It won't happen again. Believe me, they're.
I would blame the president, but that's just me.
I'm supposed to
The
win
new
that.
president.
Something went wrong. But anyway, it will get rectified next year. I heard a number of people say, I'm not playing in the tournament next year. This is how it's going to be. It will not be that way. I will. I will make sure. I played it. I didn't like it. But,
Okay, since we got just 1 minute left, actually it's 9 o'clock. Anybody who wants to stay, we have a committee, seminar right after this, really not a seminar, but a presentation and a question and answer. So anybody has ideas they want to bring up to the club or things that we want the committee to look at, I would suggest that you maybe stay for the next hour and listen to the committee stuff. And
I think I announced that an hour ago, though.
I have one.
I have one more thing.
well, they might have forgot. Now they're going to.
Guys, we have at least 2 more things we need to go over. Jim, go ahead.
Okay, just for the record, Bud had to leave because he does the money and the show's starting, so that's why he left early. Thank you.
Right. I would like at this time to make an appointment to membership chair. And I'd like to appoint Mike Naraki to that position. Membership has already increased. Good job.
Well, that was a surprise.
Are there,
Thank you, Mike.
Happy to be here.
yeah, thank you, Mike. Any other business to attend to? With nothing else being said?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Oh, by the way, you haven't seen the last of me, anyone, just in case you're wondering.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay.